Yes, I'm Ellie. I'm an architect from Iran, and I currently live in Costa Rica. We had our first trip about a year and a half. Alan Nouri, myself, Daruch Sajadi was a prominent journalist in Iran, and Adelia, who's the president of WILF International for 3 years. We went to Iran on issues of women because um, World Economic Forum has a annual report on gender equality gap, and since 2006 is rating Iran as the last one was 143 out of 147 countries in the world, next to Afghanistan and Somalia and whatnot. So we went to verify, are these Iranian women that uh, backwarded, really are victims or not, because we don't know Iranian women to be victims so much. They're usually queens of the house. So we went to Iran, and Darius Sajadi, who's well connected with the Department, he worked there 20 years ago, and since then he's been in the US and working as a journalist. He arranged a whole lot of meetings for us. Like daily, we had 4 meetings in between sightseeing, lunch, and they kind of mixed it up so it's not exhausting. We went to universities, women universities, uh, hybrid seed lab. That these were all had doctorate candidates running them and managing them. We went to the foundation for the butterfly disease, which is a skin disease. We went to most importantly, we met with a number of prominent journalists in our hotel, including people who you see being interviewed on TV and press TV. And most importantly, we went to a meeting at the parliament with 9 female members of the parliament. 9 out of 14 were present with the deputy head of the parliament. And that
Excuse me.
was, yes.
Excuse me, Ellie. I'm sorry. I just want to mention that I just have until 9:30 this morning. We're all just sort of introducing ourselves. I still don't know what it is that we're doing, and all. I know why we're doing it, but I don't. And I want to hear all this background, Ellie, and I appreciate it. But I first want to get to what this is specifically about right now, in terms of the plan going forward and what the project is.
Okay. So
I'm so I want to hear all this backstory, but right now, I need to know what's going on. I have not yet introduced myself. You have no idea
Yes,
who I am.
yes,
was
we
going
do.
to
I
ask you.
Googled you. I know who you are.
Okay, so I'm Deacon Daniel Tamm. I'm a deacon in the Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles, so my vocation as a deacon is to interpret to the church the needs, the concerns, and the hopes of the entire world. And as such, I've been very involved in a number of various justice issues. I do serve at a church as the deacon for that church on Sundays. I perform my liturgical role as deacon in the church. I proclaim the gospel, and sometimes I preach. But in the world, my focus is on housing justice, climate action, immigrant justice, economic justice. It's the work that I've done has all been in those areas. Coincidentally, lately, I've been in communication with the Episcopal Peace Fellowship. And anyway, so we're talking about some things together. So when McGregor, you sent me this, you reached out, or I don't know that you reached out directly to me, but or to other people, including me. But in any event, I responded because you said you were contemplating, planning a peace mission to Iran. So that's where I'm at. That's what I know. If we can go from there, if that's okay.
Well, let me put a little of my background and then we'll go back to Ellie.
Okay, good.
Part of it, it's really important to understand that there's this wonderful woman named Nuri. And if you don't really know who she is, it won't make sense.
What is
She's
her name?
Nuri, Nuri,
Very
Nuri
good.
Vanahi. She lives in Ojai. She gave a presentation, and she is Iranian, and she is just this wonderful woman that loves America and loves Iran and is there now with her husband. They just went by themselves on a plane, no tour. You mean they were welcome, so they're there now. And if you don't, she lives in Ojai. She has been active in peace movements for years and is well known and loved. She's very active in standing up for Palestine.
Okay.
In Ojai. And her husband's name is Alan. So when you're talking about this, you will hear the terms Nuri and Alan, and I want you to know who they are. She is a link of love. She's 85 years old and just unstoppable. We will send you, if you want to know more about her, the tape of the presentation that she gave to the Interfaith Communities United for Justice and Peace, on which I serve on the board, and I have seen you there.
Yes, I've been there.
I've met you at the LA Board of Supervisors with Leah and the train people about climate change. So I am honored to meet you. And just privately, I want to tell you, my dad was an Episcopal minister.
Ah.
So okay. I know that our congregation were divorced Catholics. So
okay.
No, that's an in joke, Ellie, that people understand.
Yes, especially Episcopalians who were born and raised as Roman Catholics.
Back in the 50s, yes. So
yes.
It was a very common phenomenon. So I just want to tell you, we are not a big group. We are a small group of people that are connected to many big groups through all the work we've done for peace.
So by we are not a big group, you're talking about ICUJP?
No. I mean me, Nuri, Alan, Sahaji, and Ellie.
Ellie, okay.
And Adelia.
And Adelia.
Adelia, okay. So what is, if we can go right to what's your idea for both of you? And what's the plan, if there is one yet? Okay, if that's okay.
When we met Darius Sajadi and we discussed what we were thinking about going to Iran, he said, I have the same idea. I've been working on getting 29 journalists invited to Iran because there's a lot of misinformation and people have to go and see with their own eyes. So he had succeeded to take one person of the 29 because people don't know him or they were scared of war or going to Iran or whatnot. And that one person is Max Blumenthal, if you've heard his name. And ever since his return, I mean, he talks about his trip, that parts were directed, meetings were scheduled, and parts he was on his own to go and explore. He's Jewish himself. He went to synagogues. He interviewed the head of the synagogue, the rabbi, and asking them how they feel about Israel and what's their position, how they feel about being in Iran and whatnot. And ever since he's come back, all he can speak about is about Iran and try to wipe out this misrepresentation, massive misrepresentation. So we think anybody from the US that goes to Iran comes back with a knowledge that is not offered to them in the US.
Right.
And we need to reach hearts and minds. And leaders can do that. Each one have 1,000 followers. They can bring their knowledge, their experience, and of that, I would say Alan and Adelia, who are not Iranians because, well, we're partial. They come back, they got things to say, they got good things to say, got bad things to say. But generally, I would say 80, 90% they have positive things to say, things that they're impressed with. So that's the idea. We think that this is like growing a plant from a seed that will bloom and produce 1,000 more seeds.
So
This would
thank
be
you
the
for that.
third trip.
The third trip.
The third, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what I heard you say, Ellie, is, for Max Blumenthal, um, he was instrumental in either wanting to or attempting to wipe out the massive misrepresentation of what is going on in Iran.
Yes.
So, may I ask, um, is that a stated objective of this trip as well, or what are the outcomes that you are looking for from this trip?
We like people to go and experience Iran by themselves, both from sightseeing, visiting different towns, and visiting with officials. This is the difference of this trip than any other tour you may go on your own, because they'll be arranging meetings with government officials depending who's available. It's not possible to say, okay, on October 7th you meet Ghalibaf at 10 a.m. They know where to bomb it. So
Right.
it's kind of loose, but you get a lot out of it. Like I said, we
Yeah.
had 4 meetings a day. This time that Nuri went, she met with the mayor of Isfahan. Then they went to Minab, the school that got bombed. They went
Yeah.
to the school. They went to the graves. They met the mothers. And then they went to Qesh. They met the governor of Qesh. And they had a train ride back with the official of the intelligence service that they spent 8, 9 hours together on the train and talked
Really?
about everything. And when they came back, they met with somebody from the State Department, I'm not sure who, to discuss this delegation and the need for repeat of these trips. So in the middle of the war, these are what she could take out. And every
Yeah.
night going to the demonstrations, which is a new grassroots movement in Iran that's guaranteeing the peace and the direction of the peace talks. People are every night on the street. Every night they're protesting. They're just being present, and they're stopping any bombardment of civilian areas. Basically, they've managed to do that. So these are all interesting to see. Beside
Yeah.
all the historic sites that I have a slide presentation, but I don't know if we
Right.
have time for
Well, I should let you know that my wife and I just recently returned from London, and we visited the British Museum. And the British Museum, the receptacle of all the looted goods from all over the world,
that.
and the British acknowledge that now too. I think they won't give anything back, but
No.
they've acknowledged that they've stolen it. Anyway,
And Berlin Museum has a whole hall of Persepolis made.
yeah,
Entire hall, like
yeah,
real
I'm sure.
size.
I'm sure. But there was an Iran exhibit. And what was really eye opening for me, I mean, I knew about this vaguely, about ancient Iran and Persia. But I mean, um, really in depth and with details and artifacts and friezes, whole stone carvings from the bottoms of buildings that told a story. That this is an ancient, um, highly evolved civilization, and um, what is embarrassing to me as an American is the ignorance of this by the United States leaders of the utter contempt and dismissiveness of an entire rich ancient culture, and and treating the Iranians with such disrespect. One of the part of my baptismal covenant is striving for justice and peace and respecting the dignity of every human being. And the administration of the United States federal government does not do this. It is not behaving this way. So that's part of my interest in this uh, journey. Now, Ellie, let me ask you. You mentioned a grassroots movement. Can you describe to me, or can you delineate, distinguish this grassroots movement for peace? Is this identical to the movement that we heard about? And this is my, in the United States, what we hear about many months ago, we heard about a grassroots movement for democracy, or at least from being liberated from the tyranny of the current regime, which is now, well,
No,
I guess
this is
this
completely different.
different.
That's, yeah, people like me
Yeah.
who are seculars, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Went on the street and they want their secular things. And what happened? They got a warning. You need to stop coming on the streets. Tomorrow we're going to shoot anybody who's on the street. Told the
Right.
parents, don't let your children go out. And they did. And among them were Daesh people, were Mossad people. They were stabbing people in front of them. So record is 3,117 people were killed that day, in one day. No, in two
Yeah.
days. So no, that was one thing. And these kind of movements usually are fed from the outside, like the
So
CIA.
that movement you think was being instigated from the outside?
Yes, of
Ah,
course. A lot of people, for good reasons, they were on the street, but the movement was generated from the outside, was being fed, and they sent armed Mossad people, armed Daesh people among the people to set people on fire alive, like 100 policemen. Police of Iran notoriously doesn't carry guns. They set them on fire. They cut their heads and arms and legs off, throw them into dumpster. Really gruesome. Like normal people, I'm a lifetime activist. I would never do anything like, wouldn't do anything violent.
ah,
And I have a big mouth, speaking the truth and so on and so forth.
yeah,
Let alone other people in Iran. So
yeah,
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about day 3 of the war,
right,
when they were bombarding everything. People decided to get on the street and guard the streets. So a lot of people, including the seculars, got on the street because they were bombing our historic sites. They wanted to bomb the bridges. So they created a human chain on the bridge around the electric factory. And their slogan was, you take care of the front line, we take care of the back. And
right,
they've been there 110 days every night, including my own cousin, who is religious. She's 76 years old. She's going out every night from 8 to 11 to be part of the demonstration. There are millions. And Nuri and Alan said there are at least 100 in Tehran, every night. And she's been going to different ones in different towns. So that's very interesting. And they have a force. They're right now in the negotiations, as you may have heard, the supreme leader has expressed that he's suspicious of these negotiations. He doesn't trust the US. And the other two are really happy to go and just negotiate and give away whatever. Because one of them, Pezeshkian, is very pro-Western. Ghalibaf, he's very ambitious, and we don't know. So you may get swayed different ways by your ambition. So people on the street are siding with the leader for the most part. They're saying you gotta listen to him, what he's saying. He has the wisdom, and he knows our enemy. Don't just give it away, like the Strait of Hormuz and the monies that is owed to us, reparations for the children of Minab, and so on and so. So it is a new force that has formed during the war by itself, and it keeps demanding on the street. So that's very interesting to be studied. Right now, they're very mixed. They're very mixed. There's
Mixed.
seculars, that you would think people like me are against the government. They're on the street. I keep saying there are a lot of people like me who are quiet. Don't assume everybody that doesn't have the thing is against the government. There are many good things about this government. They've served the people pretty well as they could, despite 47 years of sanctions and chokeholds and medical sanction during Corona and everything else.
Right. Well, okay. So
Daniel.
Yes.
I just want to say that I feel your spirit of inquiry to meet and see the people and the government of Iran with your own eyes.
Yes.
And we want to give you that opportunity. There is another delegation being organized with different Iran connections. So there's two I know of. The last time I spoke with Veterans for Peace, and they're still struggling with visas and things.
Right.
It'll take a while to get a visa, and the process will not start until you decide and apply. If you apply and then decide not to go, then that's okay. But if you don't apply,
that's minimum of 2 months, just a bureaucratic visa process.
I see.
And then coordinating who's going with who, and because if they're doing planning, they want to have 4 or 5 people.
Right.
So assume, even if you decide right this minute, at least 3-4 months from now.
I see.
There'll be another delegation.
Yeah, and that's, of course, without knowing at all where things will be with these so-called negotiations.
It should get better. I'm assuming it's going to get better, slowly.
Well, they've already, the U.S. Senate has, has put out a resolution not to approve any more support
That's a start
for the war. So that's
I don't know if lifting of sanctions is going to be that easy, but if they don't bomb us, we start to recover.
Yeah. Well, there's also this commitment about $300 billion for, you call it reparations, reconstruction, whatever you want to call it, and then removing the sanctions that would allow that would make it possible for Iran to sell their oil. I would imagine is going to have a huge impact for Iran, just to be able to have that income from their oil. But so What is how do you approach the funding of this trip?
Yeah, unfortunately, funding doesn't exist. I mean, one case they agreed to pay for, which was a lawyer of Fidel Castro and Nelson Mandela. They agreed to pay for him. Otherwise, I mean, we all paid for ourselves, but we
Right.
get arrangements, planning, your hotel, place to stay, people to meet, the visits to different towns. They make arrangements over there, but
Okay.
you need to make your way.
By they you mean
The
Nuri
State
and Alan
Department.
and their colleagues?
The State Department through Dariush Sajadi.
The State Department of Iran or the U.S.?
Yes, no,
of Iran.
Iran. That's who grants your visa.
I see.
Through Dariush Sajadi. Yeah. They make the planning of places to visit, people to meet. And
let me just tell you ahead of time, because people will tell you this. If you Google Dariush Sajadi, he is accused of being too pro-Iran, because during all of his propaganda, he would defend Iran. He's a journalist. Not everybody says that, but if you Google him, you will find it. People will say
there's a petition to deport him already.
From Iran?
No, from the U.S.
From the U.S. I beg your pardon.
No, he's pro-Iran.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying
we
to
all are pretty much
locate everything here. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I need to go. But I thank you so much for your generosity and taking the time to sort of to brief me on what your ideas, what your plans are. I'm interested. I can't promise anything right now. I need to learn more. I also need to learn more about where things are at with the Episcopal Peace Fellowship. That's going to have an impact on what I can do.
Yes.
But this is very hopeful. This is very hopeful, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everything that you're doing, Ellie and Greg. And if we can speak again, maybe in a week, that would be good. I'm going to know more on my own situation here, and then I'll do a little more homework as well on this. And Greg, I don't know if you're aware of the People's Independence Day.
I will be there.
Oh, great. Okay, good. And Ellie, tell me again where you live.
I'm in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, which is a beautiful country, I understand.
Yeah, I've been here for 4 years, but I'm trying to sell my house and move to Iran.
I see.
They will need me for reconstruction.
Yeah, for sure. Wonderful. All right. I just want to say thank you. Would either of you like to close us out in a prayer of whatever that means to you?
Well, you're speaking to two secular women.
Okay.
As a preacher's kid,
I do pray every night, believe it or not.
Oh,
for my father's soul, I do.
Would you pray for us, Ellie?
I'll read the prayer I say for my father. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. As always, for my father and for the children of Minab.
Thank you.
This is a prayer we say for the dead people.
Thank you, Daniel. I feel your heart longing for peace in the world. And this trip is designed to increase peace and understanding. And criticisms of both governments are not relevant to the purpose of this trip, which is understanding, friendship, and knowledge.
Yep.
Also, I've been taping this and I'm going to send it to Nuri
Very good.
and to Greg herself.
All right. Well, thank you both. Go in peace, courageously into the world, and we'll circle back in a week.
Spread the word with other people. I don't think this trip will cost more than 3,000 or so with airfare.
Okay.
It's cheap
And
in Iran. The airfare is the issue.
Just for shortcut, would this time and this date work for you next week? Because I have other people that are interested, just in the general inquiry, how to get a visa, everything.
I think I don't know the answer to that question.
Just send it to me later.
9 a.m. ought to work. Yes.
Okay. We'll aim for that. Daniel, I'm so glad to see you. Peace.
Likewise.
Nice
Peace.
to meet you. Thank you. Okay.
Likewise, Ellie. Thank you very much.